Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be trying out the Chanel Beiges Water Fresh Tint Foundation. I got the color medium because according to the reviews I've watched and according to the Chanel associate, this is my shade. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little worried because it looks a little dark. It looks a little dark at the bottom. But I heard because this is mostly water that the shade range in this is limited just because so many different skin tones. By the way, it comes with a brush. Retails for $65 this foundation, and I've heard this brush is really good. So I am gonna use this today in combination with this foundation. You get 1 fluid ounce, and so I just heard that a lot of different skin tones fall under certain colors. Because this foundation is so light, it is not designed to provide coverage for like acne scars and stuff like that. This foundation is more for people who want a hydrating feel, yet they don't want to look like they're wearing makeup. They just want something to kind of balance out their skin tone. This is much lighter than a CC cream, in case you were wondering. Now, the reason I purchased this was because Erin Nicole actually did a review of like all of her Chanel foundations, and I was surprised that she actually likes like medium to full coverage kind of foundation is what she mostly wears on her channel. But she liked this, so when she said that she owns this and she likes it, I was all ears. And she did a really nice close-up, so this does provide a little bit more coverage than the other reviews I saw, and I think it's because she may have built it up. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do, and let me stop rambling and let's get started. So I've prepped my face with moisturizer, you know, my serum, some primer. I use my Too Faced Hangover Spray Primer that you guys have seen 1,000 times before. This is a pump bottle, and I'm not gonna lie, the packaging of this foundation is really cool. I have not seen a foundation like this on the market. I don't know if the camera is gonna show you this, but there's tiny beads of pigment in this foundation, and they just float in there. So even if you shake this bottle, it's gonna stay in place. Nothing's gonna move in here. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to pump this directly onto the brush because I don't want to waste any product. It says that the best way to apply this is by putting it on the back of your hand and breaking up the color beads with the brush and then applying it that way, but that's a waste of product. $65 is going straight on my face. I'm not, no. We'll blend it with the brush. So when you pump it out, that is what it looks like. And it is a watery foundation. You can see that running on the brush, and you can see the beads of pigment in the foundation. I do have a mirror here. I am patting this all over, and then I'm breaking it up. And immediately though, I know that maybe it's not picking it up on camera, so I'm only gonna do one side of my face first. When I pat it, and I did that patting motion, kind of distributed the product around my cheek, you could definitely see the pigment. And there is definitely color in here. Not a lot because it hasn't provided too much coverage for me. I'm gonna go in with a second pump, and we're gonna apply this to the other side of my face. I'm just distributing it, and then now I am breaking that up. This brush is really nice, actually. you know, usually like when products bring their own brush, you know, like the blush and stuff like that, you don't really use that. I mean, at least I don't. But this brush is nice, actually perfect for this foundation. If it didn't come with this brush, I would have used a similar brush to apply this. I would not have applied this with my beauty blender. Let's get another pump and let's do the forehead. So I'm gonna do a pump on each cheek and then one for the T-zone and the forehead. So put 2 dots, 2 dots, 2 dots, 2 dots. Now let's distribute that pigment. It feels very hydrating, cooling almost. The brush does a very good job at breaking up those beads of pigment. But this is really a foundation that you would use on a no makeup day, where you want your complexion, I guess, to look a little put together, you know, like a smidge, like evened out a little bit, but you don't want anybody to know you are wearing foundation. So you can still see my scars. Some of my acne scars is not going to cover that up. And the camera may not be picking this up, and I think obviously because the coverage is so light, but I am looking at myself in the mirror and I do see that there is some coverage with this foundation. It's minimal, but it's there. Now, it doesn't feel oily, so it has dried down. It takes a little bit because, you know, I applied foundation to my entire face, and now is when I'm starting to feel the product dry down and soak into the skin. It feels really nice. It's a cooling sensation on your skin. It feels like you're putting on skincare instead of foundation. That's, I mean, if you're into that, great. I mean, this is the first time I've experienced it, and that sensation and like, you know, using a foundation product, and I like it. Now let's see how this builds. Now, dry down. So you feel hydrated, like my skin feels hydrated, and when I touch it, it feels almost like a little wet, like slightly, I'm sorry I'm gonna use this word, but slightly moist. I know a lot of you really hate that word, but that's the best description I can give you. But when you're looking at it, it doesn't look like your face is wet or it's dewy. It just looks like your normal skin. It's the strangest thing. So I can see why people with dry skin love this, who don't want to look like they're wearing makeup, because it keeps them very hydrated, but without looking like their face is shiny or dewy. Let's go in with a second layer. So I'll get a full pump, and I'm not gonna do more than 2 layers of this foundation, because at that point it defeats the purpose of using this kind of foundation. For that I just go in with a higher coverage foundation. And honestly, I was fine with the 1 layer I did, because the point of this is to look just a little evened out, a little bit more put together, you know, but without looking like you're wearing makeup or foundation. I really like this brush. And then let's go in on the other side. It just feels so good. It feels like you're putting like a cooling gel mask on your face. It's exactly what this feels like. It feels absolutely fantastic. The sensation. Now, I'm wondering with 2 layers, like how this is gonna dry down. And then the last pump for, ooh, I think in this pump you guys can see the pigment beads a lot better. See that? It's pretty cool. And you can use circular motions. I've just used circular to like sweeping motions, just to be able to get the contour of my face. Now I'm gonna look closely into my mirror here because I want to make sure that this brush has blended out this foundation properly, and that I don't have streaks, which was another concern of mine, seeing as these are beads of pigment. Just concerned with streakiness. Okay, I definitely see a little bit of coverage with this foundation. Obviously second layer more than the first layer, but I'm okay with the first layer. I mean, by all means do what you want with this foundation, but this is 2 layers of the product. I like it. We'll give this a minute to dry down before I go in with any other products. I actually had a little bit on the bottle, so I'm just gonna pat that in my finger. All right, so I've given this about a minute, maybe less, probably like 40 seconds, and it's already dried down. The dry down is just similar to the first layer. Doesn't look any more dewy than the first layer. Dry down is the same. So for this no makeup look, let's go ahead and powder the face a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna go in with my Givenchy Prism Libre powder. This is a number 3, and I'm gonna use my Too Faced Mr. Right brush. This is how much product I've put on the top, and then I'm just gonna lightly dust this on the face. So as you can see, the medium color is the right shade for me. So the Chanel associate knew what they were talking about. I think I did like a chat online or something like that. When I had purchased this. Okay, so I didn't like dispense any more product onto my the top of this, in case you guys were wondering. I just used that same amount for my entire face. It's more than enough. That's a great powder. All right, now let's go in with blush. I got the lightest blush in my Chanel collection, and that would be 608 Ombre. And I'm going to apply that with my Real Techniques light layer powder brush, and this is number 227. The reason why I chose a really light blush is obviously because we're going for a makeup, no makeup look. And I chose this particular brush because I want to pick up very minimal amount of product because this foundation is so sheer. So let's go ahead and do that. I have to make the duck face in order to find my cheeks. Okay. So far is building nicely, playing with well with other makeup products. I can tell you guys right now, I think I've said this in every video I've used this new formula in. Smells strong. Smells very strong. Okay, so I'm okay with this amount of blush. Let's go ahead and I'm not gonna do eyeshadow because I mean it's a no makeup look. So this is what we're gonna do. I'm only gonna apply some brow gel and some mascara off camera. Okay, I thought about it and I thought it would be best if I did a wash of color on the lid. Just a wash of color. So I'm making an executive decision. But I am gonna prime my lids with my Bare Minerals Gen Nude eyeshadow primer in Bright and Flawless. And I'm just gonna do one drop because again, this foundation is super sheer and I'm just blending that out with my finger. And I'm not taking my primer all the way to my brow bone because I'm not doing a full makeup look, and really the only place I need for my primer to, you know, make my eyeshadow stick to is my eyelid. And because I don't have a Chanel single eyeshadow, I'm gonna be using the Charlotte Tilbury Eyes to Mesmerize Rose Gold shade. Oh, let me open it. So this looks like a really pretty, like, everyday shade. I am gonna be using my Bare Minerals Shade and Diffuse eye brush. Gonna pick up just a little bit of product because these pots from Charlotte Tilbury are very pigmented. So a little bit goes a long way. Let me just stop using that giant mirror. Let's make this easy. And I'm just putting it all over the eyelid. I'm being super messy with it. You can do this with your finger. I'm doing it with a brush. I just don't want to get glitter all over my finger. And I'm just bringing that up into the sockets of my eye. Let's do the same to the other eye. I really like these single eyeshadows from Charlotte Tilbury. I think they're super nice and they provide a really pretty, like, wash of color if that's all you're looking for, but they are definitely buildable. I'm just using the brush to get that little blank space between my eyelashes and my eyelid. I don't know if that this happens to you guys, but I have kind of like a thicker space there, and I kind of have to like dab my eyeshadow brush sometimes in there in order to get pigment. Let's do the same thing to the other eye. I really like these. They are super pretty, buildable. It's just they have so many uses. I only own 2 colors just because I don't use these very often. I don't usually do a one eyeshadow look, but on days where I don't want to wear makeup, this is something very easy and simple that I can do. And once I have my baby, I will be lucky probably if I can even do this much. So that's that. Let's go ahead and put on some Bare Minerals brow gel just to keep these suckers in place. Make sure they don't move around. My eyebrow hairs are really, really long and they are pretty thick. So I have to use a brow gel because my hair gets tangled in them. It's very strange. And it'll move my eyebrow hairs around and I will look like a crazy person throughout the day. So I kind of just use brow gel to keep them stationed. And I like this brow gel because it doesn't make your eyebrows crunchy. You guys know what I'm talking about. I don't like that sensation. Next, I'm gonna go in with some Bare Minerals mascara, and I'm just gonna apply this to the top lashes. For lipstick, I chose a Rouge Cocoa Flash lipstick in 54 Boy. I just thought it would go nicely with a kind of rose gold eyelid. And I chose a Cocoa Flash color because it's the sheerest lipstick formula Chanel has other than a gloss. So it was this or a gloss, and I just decided that this was just cohesive, you know? And this provides a little bit more pigment than a gloss and a little less shine than a gloss. So this completes the look. I did get some mascara on the edge there, but I have to wait until that dries before I can remove it with a Q-tip. I will check in with you guys in like about 5 or 6 hours, just because this is a very like low coverage foundation and this is not meant to last all day. That is not the way that this is advertised. So I felt I would be doing it an injustice if I tried to do like an all day wear test, you know what I mean? But I think 5 or 6 hours is more than enough to see how the skin does with this foundation. I think it's a fair wear test for this foundation. And I just want to see, like, is it gonna crease? Is my skin gonna be super oily? Is my skin gonna just soak it up and I'm gonna look like I'm wearing nothing at the end of the day? We'll find out. I'll check in with you guys a little later. Hey guys, this is a 5.5 hour check-in from the last time you saw me. We have gotten some unexpected rain, so you're gonna hear a lot of thunder. I had to basically run into the house. I was not expecting this kind of weather. I didn't even have time to grab my camera. Like, that's how black it is outside and windy. It looks like a hurricane is heading our way. So I just thought in the bathroom you would be able to get, you know, to see like a good, at least the best I can show you. So the foundation has held up really well, and it sort of looks like my skin is soaking it in, if that makes sense. Slowly, very slowly, because you can, you know, you can still see my scars, you know, a couple blemishes, but there's no creasing, there's no accumulation around the nose, there's no creasing under the eye area, or, you know, in this area. Those are just some areas where if my foundation were to crease, that's where you're gonna notice it. So I have to say, this foundation is like skincare in a bottle, is the best way I can describe it. If you want something super light coverage, this is it. I actually really like it. For a day where I want a no makeup look, this is exactly what I would be looking for, because it doesn't look like I'm wearing anything, you know? I mean, it looks like I'm wearing blush, but when you look at my face, it doesn't necessarily look like I'm actually wearing any foundation, if that makes sense. It doesn't accentuate my pores. My oils are not completely out of control. As a matter of fact, I think that if anything, my oils have done pretty well with this particular foundation, and I wonder if it's because of all the water that's in there. So my skin does very well with water-based products. It took me a long time to wrap my brain around this foundation, because $65 for something that's mostly water was not something that I was understanding, you know, to the fullest. But I am very happy with it. So I will continue to test it. First impressions, I'm very happy with it. I would like to test this without any setting powder to see how that would wear throughout the day with my oils. I think it would last even less without the setting powder. I even wore a mask for a couple minutes today, and there's no like lines across my face where the mask should have taken off the foundation. So because I set this foundation, you know, I think that it may have helped the longevity of it. So I would have to test it without a setting powder and continue to use it and give you guys an update on that later on. But I just wanted to give you my 2 cents. I actually like it. So for those of you who really want a no makeup look, barely no foundation, you just want something that's gonna slightly even your skin tone and kind of smooth out your pores a little bit, then I highly recommend this foundation. Let me know what you guys think. If you guys own this product and you love it and it's a holy grail of yours, leave me a comment down below. But I wanted to do this video because I have combination to oily skin, and there aren't a lot of reviews online with this foundation with people with my skin type. So I just want to let you know that I think this really works well for all skin types. I mean, it's a rare product that's on the market. Chanel really outdid themselves. I mean, this is my first impression, but I'm very happy. And that completes this video. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me your comments down below with questions. I will try to answer as many as I can. Leave me a comment down below what you think of this foundation, if you own it, if you've tried it. What are your thoughts? I would love to hear your thoughts. All right, you guys, thank you so much and have a lovely weekend. Bye.